Welcome back, everybody. Another episode of Subject to Change is here. It's Wednesday. The NBA Finals could be wrapping up. A lot of stuff's going down in the NFL, and it's been a crazy week for me and your boy Tom. Things are happening. COVID is still here for some damn reason, even though the president seems to think it's fake, and he's doing great. But let's jump right into the NBA Finals before we get into all that.
Man, this sucks. I really thought the whole game the Heat were going to win last night. Obviously, Lakers come out, they win it. It was tough the whole entire game. It was very close. But the Heat, they just couldn't hit that one shot that put them over the edge. I thought the whole entire game until the last 90 seconds, until AD hit that shot, I thought the Heat are gonna win this game because they kept it close the whole way.
I'm in a different boat. I thought when, to be honest, the fast break with LeBron and Tyler, as soon as it happened and it was one-on-one LeBron Tyler, I'm like, yo, this man tells me he doesn't lift weights, and I think LeBron lifts weights, and I was like, this is not going to end well. And Bron just bullied my man. Oh, God. At that point, I assumed it was over. I thought LeBron was just, locked in on a different level. You know, he thought he was still wearing his do-rag during the game. He was in that kind of mindset, and they were going to win by, 40. That's what I thought was going to happen. But the Heat kept it close all the way. The person I don't know what you think about this. We've talked about all these X factors on, the Heat with Duncan and Tyler and Dragic. But on the flip side, you talk about AD, you talk about LeBron. The guy who I think deserves a little bit of respect, who didn't get any last year and was actually I don't know. He was damn near a walking meme for the Lakers, is Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. I honestly – as a basketball fanatic watching that game last night, I'm like, this dude's impacting stuff both sides of the floor. He hits shots when he's open, and he does lock up. I mean, he sits down. So I don't know. Caldwell-Pope for me last night was a huge, huge plus for the Lakers.
The Lakers fans can never complain about KCP again. They have just told everyone that he sucks for the last 18 months.
They moved on though. They moved on. These Lakers fans, you know who they moved on to.
He was amazing last night. He locked up, first of all, just like you said, and then he obviously hits corner threes. That's his thing, it seems like. But then last night, he takes Duncan Robinson off dribble. I know Duncan's not the best defender in the world, but that was a tough layup he hit in clutch.
Big time. Time.
Yeah. Duncan's long, and he got back on it quick. KCP, I don't know. Whenever he shoots, I just assume this isn't going to go well.
Yeah, he unfortunately just has a stigma around him now because of Lakers fans and how psychotic they are, being, almost I don't even know, Raiders fans. I guess they're out west and they're nuts about everything. So they've just created this whole aura around KCP he just sucks. I'm like, dude, this guy's he's starting in the NBA Finals. He's not that. There's no way he can be this bad. Right. And now they've shifted focus on the Kyle Kuzma. They just hate this guy as if they didn't love him last year. It's insane.
Dude, what happened to him? You saw it yesterday. He hit a couple shots yesterday. I thought he played better than he's been playing. But at one point, he just threw the ball to the other team. And LeBron was like, what am I supposed to do? You just gave the ball to the other team.
He played well last night, but I definitely think there's a significant amount of focus that needs to be directed towards the whole, because he was doing this whole Kardashian Jenner thing before Winnie Harlow. And I'm all about, let's really trace this back to where we started not playing well. Okay.
Kardashian curse.
It's a Kardashian curse. Was it Kylie?
No, he dated Kendall, I think. Honestly, he just had a lot happen, right? He dated Kendall. Now she's dating Devin Booker. He dated
Is she dating Devin Booker?
They're hanging out ever since the bubble. Then he dated Tyler's current girlfriend.
Yeah.
So I think there's just a lot going on in his brain. And I get it. It's tough.
Yeah, it must be really difficult to have to deal with all that. Winnie Harlow or Kendall Jenner or, it must be, I feel bad for him. No, I don't. He's about to get a ring. He's got all that going for him. Seems to be happy, which is good. And hopefully Lakers fans will move on to somebody else here at some point and not just destroy their own players like they've been doing. I don't know.
The thing with the Lakers is, other than Kuzma, honestly, it feels like they're all just grown men. the Heat are awesome and I love them, but when it comes to
young.
like HERRO and Duncan, and even when Dragic is playing, and then Jay Crowder's like a man, like a huge dude, but Kendrick Nunn, like it just looks like there's a different level of like manliness or like.
Well, I don't know about manliness, but because I don't know about manliness.
You know what I mean? Like
doing
the
that.
strength.
Udonis Haslam's going to show up to the podcast and just beat the shit out of you if you.
I think he should be playing. I want him in the game.
I think Spoelstra knows exactly where his role is right now in his career, and he's fulfilling it.
Wait, are you shook that Olynyk is like a good player?
Who?
Kelly Olynyk.
Kelly who? Olynyk?
What's his name? I don't know. He gets
Kelly
buckets.
Olynyk. Kelly Olynyk. Come on.
Whatever. I've been watching too much Flight.
I don't know what is that what he does?
He calls people by the wrong name.
No, Kelly Olynyk's great for the Heat right now. And a big reason they won game 3 is because he stretches the floor. Not that Bam can't, but Bam is extremely dominant at one area of the game, and that's low to mid post. Olynyk steps out and shoots threes, and that's really, I mean, in the game of basketball today, we all know the three-point shots completely changed the game. And the only way you beat a completely dominant team like the Lakers right now, who are just like really overpowered, I think, when you go down their roster, they're huge. The only way you beat them is you shoot a shit ton of threes. You go complete Warriors style system, and you just hope that you catch fire that night. And they have a lot of shooters. Olynyk out there with Tyler, with Duncan, somebody's getting an open shot each possession, and then it gets dangerous. I mean, because with that three-point shot, you take off really fast, really fast.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like every league has like that one dude who looks like he's not good, and then he's just like a bucket, and he's that guy. And every time he shoots, I find myself cheering for him. You mentioned KCP as the X factor. I agree on the Lakers. That's who it was yesterday. But for me, who it was yesterday and on the Heat side was Dragic not playing. Because like I know that Tyler and Duncan have both like been up and down. They've had like good games there. They're scoring more. But like when I look at the Heat right now, they never get an easy basket. It feels like every basket is hard. And people were giving Tyler a really hard time in our comments yesterday, like on overtime, saying that like he's not shooting well. He went like 6 for 18 in game 3, and then last night he didn't shoot great either until the fourth quarter. But he went from being a guy who is Dragic getting him open shots, and Dragic always penetrating, trying to get to the basket, having people all around him, to now like Tyler's the guy initiating the offense a lot of the times when Jimmy like is kind of like in his passive mode. So I think it's affected them the most not having Dragic and having someone that can get to the basket all the time.
Yeah, it's I want to speak for point guards everywhere that, it's a underappreciated role at times right now, especially in the league. I mean, it's what Dragic does for the Heat is not only can he, he penetrates, he brings the defense in, and then Tyler gets open shots and Duncan gets open shots, and the pressure is completely taken off him because now Dragic as a veteran point guard can make the game so much easier for them. But it does look like more of a struggle out there for the Heat. Like it looks like they are really, grinding and fighting for every basket, which against the Lakers, I mean, you have to be on the, initiative and the aggressive side the whole game. Otherwise, their size and strength just kind of takes over. But without Dragic out there, I don't know. I don't know if the Heat get another one. I know they got one without him, but Jimmy's going to have to step up and be a complete offensive threat. And I don't know why he's doing what he's doing. I think it has something to do with the fact that people have constantly said Jimmy Butler is this and that. He's not a good team player. He's not somebody you want on your side. So I think he's almost battling that whole, conversation and stigma out there instead of just being an aggressive scorer. He's got to go get 40 for them to have a chance. And it takes the pressure off Ty and Duncan and all their young guys to just play loose and relax because Jimmy's going to go get 40.
Yeah, I'm the biggest. I mean, we're the biggest. This is the Tyler Hero podcast of fandom, but like to have to rely on him like in the last 8 minutes of every game to try to get his own bucket, like he's really, really good, but that's super hard when the whole defense is loading up against him. I think Jimmy's also struggling. LeBron kind of been guarding him a lot more yesterday. That's obviously not like an easy task. And then Jimmy's guarding LeBron on the other end. So it's like he's doing a lot. He obviously had the 40-point triple-double in game 3. Last night he played well. Is he a top 5 player in the NBA right now, or is everyone just freaking out?
Okay, so look, Jimmy Butler deserves a lot of respect, but top 5 player in this league, come on now. Let's be honest. If you put Jimmy Butler in your top 5, that means somebody's getting bounced, whether it's LeBron, KD, Steph, Dame. I mean, go down the list.
Why,
Giannis. I mean, yeah, I forgot about the MVP. But, like, I don't know if you can put Jimmy Butler in a top 5 right now. Is it a conversation that he's in? For sure. He's a top, he's an argument for top 10, top 5 for sure. But I don't know if based off this season alone. Now, if we're talking about a Heat team that goes to the finals 2, 3, 4 times in the next 5 years, 6 years, then you got a big time argument, because before Jimmy and before Tyler and the whole, everything that just happened this year for the Heat, we weren't talking about them even being a contender out east.
Yeah. The only argument I have for him being top 5 is I think about, like, okay, if you took him off the Heat and you put someone else on them, are they better, right? So you took him off the Heat and you put Kawhi on that team, are they better? Same with KD and et cetera. And I do think that, like, it's a weird scenario where he's better for the Heat than a lot of those other guys. Like, I personally don't think that the Heat are in the finals with Kawhi as their number 1 guy. I think Jimmy's, like, mentality and his leadership and the way he plays is, like, perfect for that team. I don't think he's, like, a top 5 talent, but I think in the right situation, he's, like, in the discussion at least, which is crazy to think when he, like, no one would have said that a few months ago.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the Heat are even back in the finals next year. It'll be interesting just because.
Dude, that's what I was thinking. Like, they were a 5 seed. Like, they were really good, but, like, are they even?
Yeah, this year's been completely just off the wall with everything. So everybody had to shoot. And this whole bubble thing, I don't know how it's going to be, done next year. But the bubble has a way of increasing everybody's play. There's no fans in there. It's pretty much a glorified, pickup game. You're playing as loose and relaxed as possible. There's not crazy Utah fans, throwing like the Mormon Bible like at your head when you're running out of the tunnel. Nothing's crazy about anything. Everybody's relaxed and playing, just real nice and loose. So do the Heat make the finals next year is my question. I don't know, because you got to talk about Brooklyn in the East. You have to.
The Brooklyn thing, we didn't even have this on here. I don't know. I am nervous about the Brooklyn thing.
Let's get into this Brooklyn thing, because I think it's needed to be talked about, and it happened kind of in our lull period. This weekend or something, or late last week. Kyrie said some wild stuff. Wild.
So Kyrie came out. Kyrie was on KD's podcast, and KD just
hold on. KD's got a podcast.
Yeah, he's competing with us.
Good luck, KD. Good luck.
I heard no one watches it. Episode 1 had like 9 viral moments. But anyways, on the podcast, Kyrie said basically, like, we don't really need a coach. Like, some days I could be the coach. Some days KD could be the coach. Some days, coach, like Steve Nash is the coach. Like
sometimes the 2-time MVP that we just hired could be the coach. So I don't know.
And,
what?
We both have talked about this for a week. We love Kyrie. Like, we think he's like top 3 probably point. I mean, I think he's like a top 3 point guard in the NBA behind Steph and Dame probably. Like, some of the things he says, like, I don't think that he means it the way it comes out. Like, some people talk and like it doesn't come out the right way. I think that's what happens with him. Like, I think he respects Steve Nash. How could he not? I just think that, like, sometimes he says things and it's tough. Yeah.
So Kyrie is a PR nightmare, I believe. I think he's a great basketball player. I think he's extremely interesting. I would love to sit down and just talk with him. I'd love to be around him. But in terms of, I don't know if it's like, I truly don't think he cares when it comes to like what people think of him, which I love. I mean, all the power to him. But saying we don't need a coach, which, hold on, actually, you make the argument in the NBA, how much of coaching is really coaching? You know what I mean? And I don't know this. Is it more just personality, control, and management?
That's what they say it is on the
NBA is?
On the really good teams, it sounds like it's mostly talent management. Like I think that's what Steve Kerr's doing. But then you look at Spoelstra on the Heat, and it's like, are the Heat that much talented than that much more talented than a lot of the other teams in the NBA? Like I feel like he's actually doing something where he's putting them in zones, talking them through things, getting them to buy in. I think a lot of it is it's more about what players you can get, right? Like you get players with the right mindset. But I don't know. You played higher level basketball than me, but like I played enough basketball where like coaching has to matter in some way, even if it's just getting everyone to play correctly together.
Yeah, to some extent, for sure. No, like these NBA head coaches, I would love, I don't know what kind of connections we have, but to sit down with a NBA coach and talk to him about what daily life looks like as an NBA coach would be pretty interesting. But saying you don't need one, come on, Kyrie, come on.
Kyrie also said that this is the first time he's ever had someone he could pass the ball to at the end of games. And I don't really care that he said that, but I felt like it was a shot at LeBron. And like, I'm struggling.
A shot at LeBron.
You don't think it was a shot at LeBron?
No, it was 100% a shot at LeBron.
Yeah, totally. I'm really struggling with LeBron right now. Like, I really want to love him and to be like, he's the GOAT. Like, he's from my era. Like, when I grew up, like, I got to watch the GOAT. Like, he's the king. He's going to win a championship this year. I don't think he's going to, but we'll get into our predictions. But, dude, shout out to Kyrie for just throwing ultimate shade at him. But I'm watching these games and, like, the walkout in game 3, I know it's not a big deal. Like, I'm not one of those people that's like Skip Bayless, like, what an idiot. Like, how could he do that? What a bad person. Like, it's kind of weird. And then, like, last night and then some of the other games, the ref stuff, like, it really, I don't know why it bothers me when he does it so much. Like, I'm just like, you're the best player here by far. Like, do you really care that Jimmy Butler, like, maybe elbowed you when he was shooting a layup like everyone else shoots a layup? Like,
right. So LeBron doesn't give you he's not giving you a lot of reasons to like him right now, Tom. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, and I want him to be my favorite player.
I agree with you. I really do. I'm looking for ways to be like, I mean, he is the most dominant player. Like, he's the most dominant and possibly the most complete basketball player. Like, if you were just drawing one up, like one that couldn't be stopped, like he could get to the rack every time if he wanted to, which is a super fun to watch. I mean, I don't know. I'd rather watch Steph in my opinion, but yeah, the whole walkout game 3, interesting. Yeah, you can make the competitor argument. Oh, he's pissed off because they lost, whatever. But certain things, you know, you go back to like the Bulls and the Pistons. The Pistons walk off, don't shake hands. Just certain little things like that is just like, I don't know, historically, some of our GOATs may be, you know, arrogant in some ways, and rightfully so, and you kind of need a little of that. But he's definitely not giving people a whole lot of reasons to like him. I will give you that.
Yeah, the one thing that I save is just like how good of a teammate it seems like he is. Like, AD hits that clutch shot last night, and like LeBron is happier than AD. He's the happiest person there. Like, I really do feel like he's unselfish, and obviously the way he passes the ball, and I love that.
Of course he's happy AD hit that shot, because AD just got him another ring, just secured another ring, just like Kyrie secured a ring in Cleveland for him.
Are we getting into who
without Kyrie, without AD, does he have these 2 rings? Is he down to just his 2 from Miami? Yes.
Maybe. Yes. Before we get into who's winning this ring, because I have a lot to say about that. We didn't talk about your boy, man. The snarl, the meme, the mean mug. What are we doing? Like, I made him Overtime's profile picture. Now I'm getting destroyed for it.
Are you really?
Like, I mean, yeah. I mean, he didn't have the best game ever last night.
Yeah, no, he didn't. He didn't have like his 40-point game that he had, you know, last series. But
which is fine.
The snarl I thought was hilarious. I was standing in my living room just pumping my fist. I was screaming. I loved it. I mean, that's what I needed to see from him, especially going down 2-0. Everybody saying, you know, including us on the show at times, like, I just don't see the Heat having enough to take even a game. And then they go in and they take a game, and Tyler seals it with that and one. And then, yeah, I mean, The snarl, I just think it's funny. I always go back to his facial hair. He's got like just a little chin, and then he's got a little thin mustache, lined up, and then the snarl kind of they zoomed in and highlighted it. I always think it was funny for sure, but I mean, people who are getting all bent out of shape about it and being like, because I saw a Kobe comparison, just a
I
picture.
saw that too.
Gotta love when just random people are just bent out of shape. I don't know where they are in the world, and like mom's basement, and they see this picture of Tyler Hero doing a snarl and Kobe Bryant doing a snarl, and then they just no caption, but they just immediately are like, "You better never compare Tyler Hero to Kobe Bryant ever again. The kid's 20, blah blah blah," and they just attack this person who posted it, who's just like, "These are two similar pictures." Like I don't know what to tell you. Like it's just funny. I thought. I'm sorry. You got to be real careful, I guess.
Dude, 2020 is really hard. I get it. There's like a lot of tough things going on. But the amount of anger in some people just for no reason, I know exactly what you mean. Like, no one was saying that Tyler was Kobe Bryant ever.
No, absolutely not.
And people are just so quick to get mad. I see it a lot because we post so much and have so many people like comment things. It's just like, you woke up today and you were like, how can I be really, really upset? And, hopefully this podcast can make people happier.
Yes, I think this is a good dose of serotonin for everybody, and I think everybody needs it. So start listening to the podcast if you're not already. But
all right, who's winning Game 5 and who's the MVP?
Who's winning Game 5?
And Game 5 in the series, and then who's winning MVP?
I think Lakers win Game 5. I think they close it out, and MVP. I think Anthony Davis probably takes MVP, especially if he outscores Bronny. That's just kind of he's done a lot this series. He's hit a lot of big shots down the stretch for the Lakers. I think AD probably takes Finals MVP. Can you give it to LeBron? Sure. I mean, Every finals he's been, even the ones he lost, you could probably still give it to him.
I saw somewhere some writer tweeted out like, because people want LeBron to win it because like it helps their GOAT debate and like makes the NBA probably a little bit better. Someone put out like Anthony Davis has to score 97 points a game in order to actually win MVP. I don't know if that's true. I'm curious if AD like crushes it in like the closeout game, and then LeBron still wins it, like the controversy there. But you're wrong. You're dead wrong.
Dead wrong. So the Heat are winning Game 5.
Okay, so LeBron, the closeout games, like when you have a chance to end a series, the best player in the series, I feel like always comes out and like does it, right? Like LeBron's done it in the past. MJ never even got to a Game 7 in the NBA Finals, I think. So I think that LeBron is going to come out crazy in Game 5 and for the rest of the series. But I picked the Heat in 6 or 7 a long time ago, and I'm sticking to my guns. Jimmy Butler is going to lock down LeBron throughout the rest of the way. I don't think this Heat team special. They showed me enough yesterday. If Dragic comes back, which he tried to warm up yesterday, and it was really sad. He was like crying on the bench kind of because he couldn't play, and I know that he probably wanted to play so bad. But they have an extra day off this week. They're not going to play until Friday. I think they win Game 5, and like I think it's going to be a close one. And then Game 6 and 7, they're gonna pull through. I think if they just need to keep that momentum building, right? They did great in Game 3. I thought they played really well last night, and I think they're starting to wear down the Lakers. Lakers are the old team. Heat are young. Let's wear them down. Let's win this series in 7. Go Heat. Jimmy Butler, Finals MVP.
Jimmy Butler, Finals MVP. All right, I'm proud of you for sticking with the underdog, and you want that story, but sometimes there's just not enough in the tank. I think next year, if they make some moves and stuff like that, they have a shot. But so I think the Lakers take this in Game 5. They finish it out. Confetti falls. Nobody's really there to see it fall. And everybody's like, okay, we're done with basketball in October. This has been weird. But okay, LeBron gets another ring, and now the GOAT debate is heightened. And LeBron gets to leave and go home because he's tired of being in Florida probably and in a bubble and seeing like Mickey Mouse walk around, and he's just kind of probably in a weird mental state. And everybody just needs to get the hell out of Orlando. Adam Silver did a great job with this bubble, but man, almost overstayed its welcome. We're deep into the fall. We're in October. It's football time. Let's wrap this thing up, and Tyler can get out of the bubble as well, and I don't know, do Old Spice commercials for the summer until he's got to get back to work and make a stupid amount of money. So I think they all need to just get the hell out of there. Lakers taking in 5, but I'm glad you're sticking with the underdogs. Let's move. Let's move into. We're in the fall. Everybody's excited. Pumpkin spice lattes are back. Football is full swing. You don't know jack about football. I know.
Yes, I know a lot more than you.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Listen.
I coached football. I coached high school football.
Did you really? You were going to go that route for your profession, and then you're like, oh, I'm going to do this overtime thing?
No, I wanted to coach basketball in college, and I was like, it'd be good for my resume to get just as much coaching anywhere as possible. So I did football also in the falls.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're going to sit down and be like, yeah, I want to coach this college basketball team. They're like, okay, how much basketball coaching?
You got to start somewhere, Jordan.
Like, no, I didn't coach basketball per se.
No, I coached high school basketball and AAU basketball
football,
also.
I do have that for my resume. I coached JV football. I got kicked off as head coach there. They demoted me to equipment manager for the freshman team. But I'm super excited about starting here as your head coach at this university for basketball. What?
Okay. First of all, I was 12-1 as the head coach of the JV football team. We scored like 50.
Football team coach. Okay, I figured, but okay.
I coached JV, and then I was the receivers coach on varsity. The football coach is an absolute legend. He's like one of the best coaches in New York. So I wanted to learn just like how he like forms a team, his leadership skills, how he stays organized. It was actually a very responsible thing. While I was in college working 3 jobs, you're in college just chilling, studying, partying, and kind of playing basketball at the same time.
And running the biggest podcast on your platform.
That's true.
I have to do that as well.
That's true. But what I'm saying is I definitely know more than football about you. I've also won my fantasy football league several times.
Okay. Anyways, I scored 140 in my fantasy this week. Thought I had it in the bag. My boy I was playing against scored 165. As you can imagine, I was upset. I was actually mid-workout when I went to check and just refresh and just kind of I was expecting to smile and be like, yeah, 3-1 next week. I'll be great. Threw my phone across the gym, ended up losing. It's a whole thing I need to see a therapist about, but not great. But in the NFL, everybody has COVID. Cam Newton has COVID. It's just running through the NFL right now.
It's not everyone. It just happens to be the important humans. There's some people on the Titans that have it, and then there's Cam Newton has it. How did Cam Newton? I saw a take the other day that like it was like his scarf dealer, like since he like his scarf dealer has COVID, and that's who gave it to him, like passed it through his scarves. I don't know, but the problem with COVID in the NFL is like you miss like 3 games, like your season could be shot, right? Like you have to quarantine for 2 weeks, and then you have to get cleared, like.
Yeah, that's the thing that people don't really understand is like everybody's hearing this 14-day thing, and that's great for like if you're working at an accounting firm. Yeah, you have to stay home for 14 days and then you go back to work. For athletes, at least for what we're doing here, and I have to imagine at the professional level, it's even more extensive. But at least for us, it's 14 days quarantine if you test positive. After those 14 days, you have to do an echogram because there's myocardosis is this thing that I sound like Joe Rogan. Like I'm starting to throw medical terms out here, so just bear with me. Myocardosis is, I believe I'm correct in saying that, is like a tissue deterioration around the heart after you get COVID, which they did a study in like Germany, right? And they did it, and they might have been 45 to 50. And when they told Hugs, like, that's where they did the study and that's how old the people were, he was pissed because he's like, I mean, these people are old. My guys are 18 to 20. Shouldn't have to worry about that. But anyways, so 14 days, another week on top of that because you have to go through, an echo, cardiogram. They have to do MRIs. They have to go through and check to make sure that your heart is doing good based on, like, it's hereditary, whether or not you can kind of, like, get that after COVID. So it's really like 21 to 28 days that you're actually out. Now, I don't know if it's the same in the NFL or if they can expedite processes and do
Yeah,
it.
I don't know. The president only needed 2 days, so I feel like Cam Newton might be back any day now.
Dude, let's talk about the video. This is not a political podcast. We don't care where you sit, whether
We don't care.
in between. I really don't give a shit. I'm tired of seeing just everything right
We
now.
just like the memes.
Let's get past this. Everybody start focusing on sports again and be happy and more serotonin, right? Look, the video of Trump though, hilarious. The video he made after when he like in the White House, somebody, my boy Rick Carter, who was a coach at DePaul for some years and coached around the NCAA, he tweeted a quote tweet. And I don't know if you've ever seen or heard the movie Dave.
No.
Okay, I haven't either. So we're both too young. But my dad, who's older, he's old, he told me that it was like, I don't know, somebody's impersonating the president. It's funny, whatever. This video doesn't like, it looks like Trump, but doesn't really look like Trump. I don't know if you watched it. It does look like it could be CGI. And if we want to get into conspiracies, maybe Trump's gone and like somebody else is running the country.
Whoa.
Right now. Yeah, big time news. So it was weird. And I was like, yo, but the video, I feel like they like talk about a PR nightmare in having to deal with Trump and his press secretary, who deserves like a Medal of Honor after his presidency. I feel like he just does it. He'll shoot the video. They'll give him cards to read, and he will just say nothing that's on the cards. At one point in the video, he said, and I feel great. And maybe I'm immune now. I don't know. That's what he said. Like said it just like that. They had to have at one point been like, President, we should do this part over again. And he was like, nah, I'm good. They just posed that.
It is. I need to know who runs his social media because they are like.
He does.
Yeah, it feels like he does. I got someone outside doing workout here. I don't know if you can hear that. Dude, I don't know. I just like some of the things he says, some of the things people do is, geez, you hear that?
Yeah,
there's nothing I can do there.
Okay, let's keep rolling. We'll get a studio eventually, Tom. Once we can.
Dude, that's Trump outside. He doesn't want me to say what I'm going to say. I'm telling you, the CIA is outside of my house right now. They're coming for me.
They were watching through your camera this whole time.
It's bad.
It's not that bad. Just keep rolling.
COVID, though, apparently he can beat it. The big thing now is Cam Newton's teammate, Stephon Gilmore, cornerback. He played this Monday night, even though Cam didn't. He just tested positive. There's a picture. So he tested positive today. Today's Wednesday. On Monday, there's a picture of him dapping up Patrick Mahomes right after the game. So now the whole thing is like, is Pat Mahomes going to come down with COVID any second now? I think Pat Mahomes isn't going to get it.
He's too good of a football player. They're not good. COVID's going to be like, yo, I'm going to let you slide on this one. Like, I'm on your right hand, but I'm just going to jump and get out of here. Let's pray and hope that Patrick Mahomes doesn't get it, because if he does, I say we just cancel the season as is. The dude outside of Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the league. I mean, man, would suck to not have him playing.
Yeah, there's no point if that happens. They're gonna win the Super Bowl anyway, so it probably doesn't matter.
All right, let's talk AAU, because we don't know shit about NFL or football.
All right, so yesterday was National Coaches Day, and we started looking through different footage, all these different things, and I started realizing just how insane AAU basketball is from LeVar when he was coaching, LaMelo just like doing push-ups and sit-ups on the sideline and pulling his team off the court and forfeiting, to me thinking about some of the different things that happened in my life playing AAU, to me coaching AAU and snapping a clipboard into 1,000 pieces and scaring little children all over the place. And AAU went really long this year because in the spring it didn't really happen, so they pushed it out and it kind of just wrapped up. So is it crazy? Like, are people taking it too far?
Do people take it too far? AAU is like,
yeah.
AAU basketball is the equivalent of like Dance Moms. Like if you watch that and just how insane they are, the things that I've seen in AAU, it's like the video of Mike Rice at Rutgers that everybody got bent out of shape about, like him throwing basketballs and kicking basketballs and like I think maybe choke slamming a kid. I don't know what happened, but that's like pretty much AAU on a consistent basis. The funny thing about Mike Rice is I played in an AAU game after that incident at Rutgers. He got whatever released, and then he coached an AAU team out of New Jersey. Okay, he coached Scotty Lewis's team. I'm pretty sure that's who we were playing. I think it was Team Rio. And when I tell you, I thought he was about to throw a basketball at my head or at anybody's head, like during the game, I'm not joking. He was that heated. Like he loves basketball and maybe like to a point where it's unhealthy. And I've seen some crazy stuff. AAU is the most absurd, just arena like realm in the entire world. It's insane. The amount of fights, the things parents do and say, it's insane. And one story I do have is the crazy thing is how old we were. So I was in sixth grade. We were playing at a tournament in Indianapolis, and a parent, you could hear them because these AAU gyms, there's only about 50 people in the stands. It's like kind of like COVID, just parents and immediate family, and then the two teams. And it's pretty quiet in the gym. We're getting ready to play next. And the game before us, we're kind of seeing this buildup of a parent, a dad, sitting about 20 rows up. He's screaming at this coach to put his kid in. Doesn't put his kid in. Okay. Puts his kid in for about 30 seconds and yanks him after he does something. So now the dad has moved from row 20 to about row 10. Okay. And then he's sitting at row 10. He's still screaming. So then doesn't put his kid in the rest of the game. There's about 30 seconds left to a minute. And now the dude's at row 5. So he's kind of now getting closer to this coach, who's coaching his son, his team. And the coach turns around and says something to the effect like, shut up, blah, 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 whatever it happens to be. Like just tries to shut this dad up. And they're losing. They're definitely going to lose this game. He turns back around with 30 seconds left to try to coach the rest of the game. And the dad stands up and goes from 5 to right behind him, throws a right hook, just sucker punches this coach straight across the face. So now a full-out brawl is happening. All these sixth grade kids are fighting like either their own teammates, the opposing teammates. There's like 6 of them that are fighting the refs. They don't know why, but there's just little kids.
Dude, the ref always gets it, no matter what.
Oh, I've seen refs just not like actually beat the shit out of, and it's like scary and not safe and bad and shouldn't be in AAU basketball. But anyways, then this dad leaves. He gets escorted out. Police show up. The police leave. And before he left the gym, he got in a little argument with the opposing coach. So after he beat up his own coach, he wanted to say something to the opposing coach. The opposing coach bickered, whatever. And the dude said, "I'll be back for you." Points at the opposing coach. So we're all just like, all right, whatever. So my team starts warming up. They get it all under control. The police must have left. And this dude sneaks through the back door. And the opposing coach is still in the gym and beeline sprints right at this opposing coach. And they throw hands for another like 20 minutes. Our game's postponed. We get pushed back. The cops show back up. This dude gets arrested. Craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I was in like 6th grade. No, it's just AU basketball.
That's the craziest part. Is like it's never even like about something big, right? Like if it's like you're fighting for a scholarship or there's money online, like this is literally just like youth basketball and they're attacking each other. My story was like, first of all, I used to run AAU tournaments throughout college, so like, and it wasn't. That's the thing. It's usually not the elite games where it happens. It's like the mid ones.
Yep.
And I was running tournaments for like the D3, D2 type kid, maybe probably not even playing in college, and it was getting bad. But for me, like I played on a team and we were good, but like we were playing against the Gauchos. Everyone knows the Gauchos. They're like one of the biggest AU programs out there. And I was probably same thing, like 6th, 7th grade. And we were good and we beat them. Like we beat them by 1. I think we had a buzzer beater. This kid Jason Brown had a buzzer beater, if I'm not mistaken. And we hit a buzzer beater. We win. We're celebrating, but we weren't like the type of team that was like talking trash. Like we were honestly all looked kind of like me, and like we were just happy to
kind of felt bad that you just beat the Gauchos. You're like, we weren't supposed to win that game.
Oh, dude, we were definitely like boxing one the whole game, triangle and two, like playing just.
That's all you guys did was just shoot threes. You shot like 65% from three.
Junk defenses. Like, we just had a good coach. Anyways, and the game ends, and it's kind of scary where we're at. And it was our moms. It was our moms. 4 moms on our team walked to the bathroom after the game, and 4 other moms followed them in the bathroom. They're, like, ready to throw hands. And, dude, it was just, like – it was kind of like –
Did all the moms end up okay? Did we talk this – did it get talked through?
I don't remember what happened after that. Like, it kind of – I think all the kids got taken out, and it was just like, get out of here. Like, the parents might have thrown down in the bathroom.
It's a weird place to throw down, dangerous place to throw down. A lot of ceramics and other stuff that's just not good. Dear God.
It's bad. The things that are said in AAU, some of it's great, right? Like, the LeVar stuff was amazing. Him and LaMelo would just, like, walk off of the game, like, if it wasn't going their way. LeVar used to throw the ball to LaMelo. Like, there's funny things, and you get the funny refs who are dancing and stuff like that. But some of the parents, man, it's the parents. The parents are the problem.
The parents are 100% the problem. We should just take COVID protocols and just run it all the way through the rest of the history of AAU and where it's going, and just not let anybody else in but the players, and just keep it somewhat under control. But at the same time, I say that I want to go to AAU tournaments and watch my kid play one day. And I shouldn't say I won't be this person, because my grandfather was the person who used to always get kicked out of my AAU games. Same with my dad, love him to death, but they a little too passionate at times. So I hope I'm not that person, but I do want to go just to see the moms fight, because when it's Mama Bear versus Mama Bear, it's a good point. That's when it gets out of control and things get said and, things happen, because the 2 moms will be yelling at each other, and then the kids on the court will be like, that's my mom. And then the other kid's like, well, that's my mom. And then they look at each other, and now
then the dads have to say something.
Yeah, dads. And then it's just the dynamic of AAU is completely loose cannon and out of control and dangerous. But that's why I love it. I truly love it.
And then you're there all day.
Huh?
And then you're there all day. You're in the same gym. So it's like you're not.
Oh, yeah, you're going to see these people 100%. You might be at the same hotel, And, dude, AAU is the most, like, just unkept, disastrous organization ever, and I love it. Like, the chaos, the controlled chaos that is AAU basketball, I don't think should ever be touched, honestly. I would love to hear just anybody, because AAU, there's hundreds of thousands of kids a year playing AAU basketball. I would love to just hear stories from our listeners of the craziest AAU stuff that they've ever witnessed or been a part of. Low key, we might have to do something like the craziest story that we pick, bring them on the pod, and just let them really talk about it all the way through next week or something like that. Because there's an endless fountain of psycho AAU parents, coaches, and refs.
There's 100% like a guy drove his car onto the court after getting kicked out, or like
right through the sidewall of the gym.
Just took the rim home, like just went in and like broke down the rim and took it home. Comment your best AAU stories, and we will bring you on the podcast, because I need to find the craziest one. That's a goal in life for me.
I like it. All right, guys. Sorry, podcast has been chalked this whole week just because we tried to get it done yesterday. RJ Hampton is supposed to come on. We're still gonna do that. Sada Baby, the rapper, Tom's little TikTok. Dang, hold on, yeah. So that guy's gonna come on. Super excited about that, because I went through and had to really look up like what this dude's all about. He's a big sport fanatic. He loves Tyler, so that'll be good. He's been watching the finals, and we do have great episodes coming for you. Sorry if this one sucked. We're trying, folks. Busy schedules, and we did have a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed it, and made you laugh or smile, or at least something for the rest of your week. Stay tuned for more episodes. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow all of socials, Overtime Tom, myself, more importantly, Subject to Change Pod on Instagram. We're almost at 300 followers, guys. We're almost there.
Let's go.
Get on the train, or it's going to run your ass over. Have a great week. Take care of each other. We love you. Peace.
Heat and 7.